Hey y'all, what's up? I'm Mimi, aka the Piscean Seer, and this is one of your daily collective messages. Like, and subscribe if you get anything out of this. Thank you so very much to those of you who do like, subscribe, and comment. It is always and forever going to be loved and appreciated. God, archangels, ancestors, ascended masters, cosmic guides, all beings of the highest and purest white light, only with the best interest over me and the collective at heart. You are always and forever welcome into my readings. Okay, please give my wonderful, fabulous, and amazing Piscean Seer family the best and most accurate information for them at this time. Hello to my beautiful lovers. Welcome to any new subscribers. Okay, welcome back to my subscribers who are already here. I love and appreciate each and every single one of you guys. Thank you so very much for coming, and thanks for coming back. Okay, so I have a couple of things. Okay, so first of all, this is a Yeshua message. Okay, as usual, the note is I love you, but when I was in the bathtub, they showed me like poop, okay? Like poop floating to the top of a pool or something like this, And it was saying that somebody wants to be like the turd at your party, at your pool party. Like somebody is kind of being a bit of a party pooper in your energy. But I feel like, with this spirit guide energy, I feel like, spirit really is with you. Okay, like pay attention to the signs, and I feel like it's really important for you to just like keep your head on straight and to just focus on what is important. Focus on your positive movement forward. He's saying like try to stay away from mental conflict. Okay, with the crown chakra under that. Okay, try to stay away from mental conflict, or thinking in too much into like what other people are doing or how they're acting towards you or what their attitude is with you. I feel like at the end of the day, it's really not your problem, and it's really important that you have a lot of confidence in yourself and the choices that you make and in the firm foundation that you've built for yourself. Because I get this feeling that your passions are so ignited at this time. It's like you've never been lit up the way that you're lit up right now, and it's really important that you keep yourself there. Stay very far away from this anxiety. Okay, it could be like a parent that causes anxiety in you, a mother specifically. But I think he just is asking you to be very forgiving at this time. Not to say that you have to like take people's crap or whatever, or accept people talking to you any kind of way, but with the Two of Wands, I feel like he wants you to always choose to have like this new beginning type of energy, to choose in every moment this passion that you've ignited within yourself, rather than, entertaining anybody's BS or feeling like you have to take it there with them. Somebody could be trying to physically start something with you, but I think that when it comes to the things that you're trying to start physically, you're really just trying to build something, to build a better life, or to build this like vision that you have for your future. And you really are in this beautiful, look at this, the star and the Knight of Pentacles, baby. You really are in this beautiful and amazing energy, and I think that that's attracting a certain kind of attention to you from certain people, but it really has nothing to do with you at the end of the day. So it's really important that you just stay aligned, that you remember your healing, and that you keep your head on straight, and you allow God or allow your divine guides to fight your battles for you. Because they out here in the field fighting for you very hard all the time. Okay, don't ever doubt that, is what I heard. Okay, do not doubt that. Oh, the other thing was what was it? I'm trying to pinpoint it specifically because doubt took me there. Judgment. Okay, that's what it is. It's this energy of you judging yourself. It's really not necessarily judgment, but it's more guilt. Okay, like you can feel guilty when you do certain things, like maybe you have a lot of responsibilities, or maybe you have children or whole family, or a lot of things that you want to put time and energy into, and even all of your money into. But he's saying like it's okay to take some time to do things for yourself, and know that like you don't have to feel guilty just because you're taking the time to do something for yourself. When you do things for yourself, it awakens a different kind of magic within you. And it also attracts people who can do more for you, or it attracts opportunities for you to have more, so that you'll be able to do everything that you want to do for everybody else. So just try to remain aware of that at this time. But what else? What's the overall energy? So we got divine creation, and we got light activation. Okay, Yeah, look at this. It's gorgeous. Okay, so it says acceptance, personal commitments, and euphoria. It's really important that you be accepting of yourself. Be very accepting of your wants and needs, and don't let your personal commitments that you have in life overshadow, the love that you have for yourself, or the time that you spend with yourself, or the things that you do for yourself in order to keep yourself afloat or to keep your energy straight. Those things are very important, and they bring this amazing sense of euphoria for life, where you're like really feeling and experiencing the best parts of life. And also he was saying earlier, like celebrate the fact that your vision is so clear. Celebrate the fact that there is not a thing in the world that is a secret to you when it comes to anything negative or low vibrational. Celebrate this beautiful life that you've been given, and just continue to express yourself the way that you've been doing, on a consistent basis. I feel like your light body is really activated, and you could be in a very abundant and grounded type of place too. You could be just really focused on the right things at this time, but you just need to make just a little bit more time for yourself. Okay, it says the evolution of spirit, the actioning of plans, and transcendence. I feel like you've transcended so many of the older parts of you that weren't necessarily serving you, and you're doing really great. But sometimes you just overthink, or when you do get that chance to like finally do what you want to do for you, it's like you can't even enjoy it because you don't know if you should be doing it or not. You're just like questioning everything that you do for yourself. And like the big message here is like, you are the 10 of Pentacles. Okay. Like you hold all the wealth, all the worth, all the value. Why would you ever worry about money or ever worry about doing something for yourself? Like, it's okay for you to celebrate where you've come, and to acknowledge all of the cycles that you've closed, and to even do nice things for yourself in the name of all of this progress that you've made. The song said, we gonna be living like this for the rest of our lives, okay? Like, you're so good, you're so set. I feel like when it comes to people trying to bring endings and defeat to you, people trying to backstab or betray you, none of it matters. You've escaped ruin, okay? Come on, you've escaped ruin. You've pulled yourself together. You've learned from your past lessons, and any hardships that come along right now are extremely temporary. Don't worry about like your greatest fears coming true, because it's just not what you're attracting. It's not what you deserve, okay? And so it's like, if anybody on the outside of you is trying to do anything like that, then just know that God got it handled already, that it's already been handled before they even had the thought of even trying to do it, before they even got the idea to set the intention. It's already been handled, okay? Yeah, we got the Four of Cups today. So also just know, like, it's okay to like turn certain energies down or turn certain invitations down. There's no need to have any regret about anything that you do turn down or that you choose not to entertain. Like, you're highly emotionally intelligent, okay? And that means that every single little feeling or every single little thought or every single little nudge that you have, it matters, okay? It is for a reason. So just pay much attention to those feelings within yourself when you are wondering, like, well, is this a good idea? Is this a good investment? Is this somebody I want to hang around or put my time into? Like, just pay a lot of attention to how you feel literally stepping into these things, and you'll always be successful. You will always achieve whatever it is that you put your mind to, because of all the things that you've accomplished so much, and how much you've been able to fulfill yourself, and the way that your cup overflows, okay? It says what I've been working toward is already done. Like I just said before, whatever it is, it's the same way with you. Just like when they put the minute they make that thought or that decision or set that intention, it's already done. The minute you set a positive thought or, set some sort of intention, the minute your passions get ignited about something, it's already done for you, okay? And you just go through the motions and learn whatever it is that you need to learn in order to become a vibrational match to receive that. but it's already here for you, whatever it is that you want. Before you even think of even asking God for it, he already got it. Like, yeah, it's cool. It's like it's like that friend, where you're at home and you're like, dang, I wish I had a coffee right now. And then they just show up with a coffee like, hey, I thought about you this morning and I wanted to just bring you a coffee, because the minute you thought about a coffee, God set up the arrangements for you to get that coffee that you wanted. Like yesterday, I was really like debating, like, do I want to buy coffee today? Like, I have this, I have to pay for this, I have to pay for that, and I have this whole list of stuff that I know I want to buy. So I went out and I did Instacart, and Spirit helped me so much. Like, I did pretty good, and I made exactly enough to pay for everything that I needed to pay for. And when I went to get coffee, I unlocked my card and I gave the lady my card, and she did the card. I guess it said approved, and she gave me my coffee, and I drove off. And when I got almost back to the store that I was shopping, I got a notification on my phone that said the card was declined. To unlock your card and try again, okay? And so Spirit bought me some coffee, you feel me? And so it's just just be on the lookout for miraculous happenings and things like that. Be aware that whatever you want, even something as small as a coffee that you might not want to pay for or might not feel like you have the money for, Spirit is always going to give you what it is that you want, and that applies to bigger things as well. Yeah, you will always have victory and success because you are a child of God and this is what you deserve. I heard birthright. It is your birthright, okay? So it's very important that you remain aware of that, especially in your most anxious times. Try to bring these energies up. I feel like he's saying it's high time for you to sacrifice some of those anxious feelings and thoughts, or even some of those conflicting thoughts, or even some of your feelings of guilt about what you deserve or what is being brought into you, Because I was really I was really questioning it too. Oh my gosh, I was like, did I steal this coffee? And Spirit was like, no, we just bought you a coffee, the lady took the card cleared. In her reality, the card was clear, okay? And I thought that was so crazy, so you just don't have to worry about anything, everything is covered when it comes to you. Everything is handled. Yeah, look at this, material harvest, okay? So if you're worried about money or how you're going to attract things, don't worry about a thing, okay? Because I feel like things are about to look completely different than the way your past looked, There could be a lot of heartache and pain in your past, a lot of temptation, or even people from your past at this time who are still in this Ten of Swords, Four of Cups type of energy, trying to affect your energy in some way, or trying to pull you back over into that energy. But I feel like it's just where they are in life. The song Imperfect Flower came on, all of these people are still just like these imperfect flowers, and you have to allow them to grow and expand into what they're going to become, even if that means you have to separate and give them room to grow. Yeah, we got fertility, okay? And that will lead to these very promising outcomes for everybody involved in the situation. Sometimes that's the greatest healing you could give somebody is space, So I feel like when it does come to people that you notice are on a more negative vibration, or you just don't like their vibe, or they're on an energy that you feel doesn't match yours, it's okay to separate and just give them the room that they need to grow, and take the room and the lesson that you learned from dealing with that person in that moment and use it for your growth as well, But also, this is Empress energy, So I feel like you just grow things effortlessly. You're very tapped into this flower of life energy, and it's a very beautiful thing. You need to keep that going, and don't worry so much. Be aware of your power, the temptation. I feel like it's you have this great temptation to overthink, or this this temptation to get sucked into your endless rabbit hole of thoughts, and it's he's trying to say to stay as far away from that as possible, because it just causes confusion in your life and in the way that you're thinking about things, and it just has the ability to block out your ability to attract attract what it is you're supposed to be attracting at the time, right? It doesn't leave any room for anything miraculous or anything amazing to happen, because you're kind of like jumping down your own throat and losing the hope you should have in that moment that's going to attract whatever it is you're kind of worried about, you know? He's saying like bringing it to the divine before you, worry or stew or cry or anything about it, Yeah, we got the heart chakra, using your heart chakra power, using your energy of love, using that energy of faith in order to be very sure that the things are coming, right? Using that energy before you use any other energy, right? Feeling the happiness and the joy and the positivity about the situation, knowing that it's going to be handled, is the energy that he's giving me. What's sacrifice and material harvest? We got conflict and defeat, right? Staying away, sacrificing this conflict and defeat type of energy for an energy of material harvest and fertility always, right? Okay, sacrificing the, oh my gosh, I have to pay for this, and what am I going to do because I have to do that, and I have to do this, and I have to do that, and where am I even going to find all the time to do all of these things? He's saying like that kind of worry, that kind of like frenzy that people go into is kind of unnecessary, and it kind of gets in our own way. In that way we kind of stab ourselves in the back, instead of looking at ourselves as like this very slippery thing that's constantly escaping ruin, and how could anything happen, right? Instead of looking ourselves looking at ourselves like Domino, the DC character who's always lucky, right? Anything she shoots for or anything that she tries to do works, because her power is luck, and it's like, I don't want to say your power is luck, I kind of want to say like, your power is your anointing, your power is your higher heart chakra energy, your power is your ability to create, to manifest, okay? So utilize that power rather than worrying or, having a whole bunch of clashing thoughts in your mind about what you're going to do and how you're going to do it, And I laugh, because, look at the sacral chakra at the bottom of the deck. Your power is your power to create whatever you think of, okay? So just always be aware of that. Dang, I forgot what I was going to say. It must not have been important. What's material harvest and fertility? Oh, I was saying that freaking out and going through the motions and having all of these issues, right? Like something comes up, right? And I freak the hell out, right? And then I'd be like, okay, all right. Once I calm down, I'm like, okay, so what can I do, And they're always telling me, like, don't do that first, Like, you should just come to us, like, just bring whatever it is to us. Just pray immediately. Like, just tell us, even ask for just, if you like, God help me, like even something as simple as that before you even flip out or freak out about the thing, it would be much more powerful than that. We got truth. Like, so this constant awareness of your truth and of your ability to create is really important to you and to your path at this time. What's fertility and temptation? We got accelerated motion, okay? So, and like, if you can fight those tempting, the tempting cycle of thinking that you usually operate out of, and operate out of this more aware of your truth and your ability to create type of energy, then your movement forward will be very fast. Yeah, the sacral chakra, okay? So, like, you need to embrace your ability to create, like, focus. And the more, okay, so he's saying the more you do this, the easier it is for you to be aware of your light. Like, it gives your light body some sort of power. Like I said before, I said your light body is very powerful. And also this light body card says independence brings comfort, past restrictions and ancestral healing. It's like, this is a big generational curse that I feel like you've been working on breaking, okay? On not worrying so much and having a lot more faith in the divine early on in your life, so that you can do and accomplish a lot more than maybe your ancestors were able to accomplish. That's a really big thing here, And also being very comfortable being independent, because that as long as you're independent, you are still working with this huge team, right? You still have all of this backing and all of this support. So your independent moves that you make are extremely powerful because they're backed by God, okay? and releasing any past restrictions or any thought patterns of the past that tell you that you are restricted, or you're going to do all of this work and then you're going to end up being restricted in some sort of way. You're not. Trust in your spiritual strength and trust in your ability to plan and have a lot of patience with this, okay? Like, honor yourself and the authority that you stand in, and you'll attract a lot more material and spiritual prosperity to yourself, okay? But it requires this trust in your partnerships and alliances that you have made with the divine, right? It's about accepting the power that has been instilled in you and really trusting that it's a real thing, and that no matter what obstacles or challenges come up against you, you're grounded in the divine, and so there's nothing to fear ever, because you remember that you are loved in your most darkest moments, right? And you rejoice and celebrate through the hard times anyway, because you know that God is always going to bring the financial and material changes that you need at that time, okay? He preaching in here. He preaching in here. Come on. What else? Yeshua. And I was like, you don't have no notes? He was like, no, just talk to the people. I was like, all right, we're going to talk to them. So... what's sacrifice, material, harvest, and conflict and defeat? We got the Champion of Wands, okay? Or the Knight of Wands. So, baby, you are a champion. You're making this beautiful, passionate movement forward, even with any thoughts or any doubts that might come up, you know? But he's just saying that things would move a lot quicker for you if you just go ahead and embrace that luck, you know? Look at this horseshoe. Well, it's a snake, but it looks like a horseshoe, you know? And a horseshoe turned upside down, you know? It's kind of a representation of, like, pouring out the luck, right? Pouring out everything good, and a horseshoe upright is a much more positive energy, you know? So it's like this energy of maybe you feeling like you're very unlucky because of the things that you've been through in the past, or like every time you get up in life, right, something always has to happen, or someone always comes along to try to ruin that thing, right? Somebody comes along and they want to be the poop at your pool party. But I feel like you've cleansed and cleared everything, and you don't have to worry about that. We got the Apprentice of Wands, you know? This is a new beginning, a new passionate beginning, okay? A new spiritual contract that you entered into with the divine. One that's more advanced, higher is what I'm hearing, right? That has a whole lot more strength to it, okay? So know that every move you make is backed by this amazing strength, and that there's nothing that could interrupt or disrupt this infinite connection that you have with the divine and the people, well, the energies who provide everything for you, you know, or God, okay? What's temptation, sacral chakra, and heart chakra? Yeah, we got the Chariot, okay? No obstacles could ever stop you, baby. As long as you creating from the heart and you're turning down all of these temptations or all of these situations that don't serve you, you're good, okay? Golden is what I heard. You're so golden. What's the Champion of Wands, the Apprentice of Wands? We got the Ace of Swords, okay? Come on. As long as you stand in this beautiful truth and you continue to embrace your transformations and to express your truth the way that you've been doing, there is nothing or nobody that can ever stop you from doing a thing. And it's really important that you have that kind of mentality when you're dealing with those people who wish to stop you from doing everything, you know? What's the Princess of Wands and the Strength card? It's like, because he's saying that their desire for destruction is like is like a direct reflection of like their inner destructed state. You know what I'm saying? It's like they're fragmented on the inside, and so they attack people on the outside, okay? Hurt people. Got Loyal DNA by Kendrick Lamar comes on, okay? It's crazy. You look up them lyrics, okay? What's the Princess of Wand and the Strength card, okay? We got the Six of Cups. And we got the Three of Swords, okay? And we got the Ten of Swords, okay? Because getting stabbed in the back and having heartbreak and not being able to create what it is that you want to create and not being able to move forward the way that you want to move forward is a total thing of the past. Like I said, you stepped into this new beginning and you need to embrace that in the hardest of times, okay? Like, just continue to take a leap of faith again and again and again. And when you feel like you need to be to yourself, or when you need to separate, or when you need to be closed off from people, and when you need to take that time, then take that time, because this is going to really help you. Like, that's a really healthy cycle to be in, is kind of what I'm hearing, okay? Yeah, we got guardian angel where you are not alone. Look, hermit will retreat and recharge, okay? Like, you're never alone, and it's okay to take the time to retreat and recharge, because the more you do that, the more you see your seeds grow, okay? Because it's like you're tending to them every time you take that time to yourself. Every time you like go within or spend time with the divine, when you're meditating, when you're praying, when you're crying those tears, you know. Because I always cry when I pray, and sometimes when I meditate, you know. So you could be like me. You could be like someone who gets very emotional when you're talking to God, right? And I talk so honestly to God, right? And so it's like all of that waters your seeds that you're trying to grow within yourself, and it all brings you this big higher level of inner strength that you could have been missing in the past when you were having those heartbreaks and you were open to being stabbed in the back. You're not in that place anymore. What's the champion of wands, the apprentice of wands, and the ace of swords? We got stag with trust and thrive, okay? So it's like the more trust that you have in yourself, in your journey, and in your relationship with God, the easier it is for you to thrive, okay? We got the mirror guardian, which is talking about taking time to reflect, you know? Take time to reflect over your life, you know? Reflect over those times where you went through those heartbreaks, or you were stabbed in the back by those people, you know? Where were you in life? How were you operating? And how does where you were differ from where you are right now, okay? See how it got bright? Shine the light on those things and pull the light from it, and move forward with this unwavering trust, knowing that you're going to thrive for sure, because God has your back. And now is the time for you to receive rewards, to celebrate, to experience accelerated motion, and to be able to co-create with the divine. That is the gift. That is the promise, okay? What's strength? The three of swords and the chariot and the 10 of swords. We got the high priest, okay? Intend and create, period. That's all he wants you to focus on doing at this time. Setting your intentions toward what it is that you want, and creating from that beautiful heart-centered place. And having tunnel vision for that, because those are your directions from the divine, you know? Or doing whatever it is that you feel in your soul that you're being called to do at this time. And try not to like go on the outside of you so much. When you have an issue or when you have a problem, okay, pray. Communicate as much as possible, because it really truly does help, and it brings in exactly what it is that you need when you need it. What's stag and mirror guardian? We got sage with be devoted and committed. Come on. I feel like you're just drilling it in, okay? And then we got arrow. It says surround yourself with protective energy, you know? You are surrounded with this amazing protective energy already, and believing and having faith in that keeps that protective energy so strong and so impenetrable, it's not even funny. So you don't have not one thing to worry about, baby. Excuse me. Yeah, we got the broken arrow right here. So embrace the energy of peace as much as possible, and just continue to be like this amazing shapeshifter, you know? You're transforming, you're unveiling a lot of your gifts the closer and closer that you get to God, okay? You're harnessing this mystic power that he has awakened within you. And so it's just really important to stay focused while you do that, because it's the most important thing that you're doing this lifetime, right? This is what you was really seriously put here this lifetime to do, you know? Like, no matter how you express yourself or how you create, just know that that is the real point. To be close and to understand, like, your creation, to understand where you came from, to remember your power and who you are. Woo! All right, what else? That's to make me cry. It says, I find my happy place and I go with the flow, okay? So find your happy place, go with the flow, and keep that relationship that you have with the divine tighter than anything else that you keep tight, okay? What's Mirror Guardian, High Priest, and the Arrow? It says the best ish happens outside of my comfort zone, you know, and also stepping outside of your comfort zone, but leaving the fear, leaving the doubt, leaving the worry about this unknown place at the door, okay? Like, don't be afraid to step outside of your comfort zone, to try new things, and to even go back to doing things that you used to do that didn't work out for you in the past, because the time could be better, right? It says, I'm not a sunrise, I'm the freaking sun, okay? It says, my unique spirit brings ish tons of light to the world, okay? What's the final thought on this? I seen the Two of Pentacles. Try not to juggle so much, you know. I seen the King of Pumpkins, which is the King of Pentacles, okay? You holding all of this wealth, all of this worth, and all you got to do is be more and more aware of it every day in order to attract more of it, okay? In your 3D reality. We got the moon. I feel like there's so many things coming toward you, so much that God has in store for you that you haven't even touched yet, okay? Like, it's not even a thought in your mind, the things that God has already set up for you, because he got it covered before you even think of it, okay? With the Ace of Pumpkins, come on. What's the final thought on this? We got the Nine of Candles, okay? And we got the Hermit at the bottom of the deck, okay? So your inner reflection is very important at this time, you know? You could be even having some sort of tower when it does come to, like, the way you're thinking about your happiness. Yeah, with the Four of Wands and the Sun and the Nine of Pumpkins, I feel like you just want to be very financially set, and you just want everything to work out, even if you just living like a plain life, you know, in a little apartment, you know, with your little circle of friends, with your job that you go to every day. Like, you just want to be happy, and you just want things to go smooth, and you just want people you can count on, and just know that, like, you get everything that you want as long as your intentions are set toward that. Oh, I passed it. I see that. Here it is. It says your journey is at its end, and you have been made all the greater for it. This success will be met with both material reward and spiritual growth. This end, however, is only another beginning. Another journey awaits, greater and grander, and you are ready to face it. Okay? So let me see. In reverse, okay, it says you have gained responsibilities but feel overwhelmed and overburdened. The expectations of others lie heavily on you like a candle burning far too bright. This may have led you to ignore your responsibilities altogether, lest you burn out quickly. Take time to rest and evaluate your obligations. Is there something you can let go of, you know? And so it's kind of this energy of, like, both energies being true, both the upside and the downside, you know. This cycle where you're, like, putting people ahead of you and ignoring your responsibilities just to take care of others and burning out super quickly, that is coming to an end, you know. And you have to allow yourself to let go of the thinking patterns and the way that you move, to let go, you know. Let that go. Let it go with those things. Like, let it close, okay, with the cycle that's closing, and embrace this new beginning. Have this, you know, greater, grander view on life and where it is you're going and what you're capable of, and you will feel so much better. Okay, so with that, I'm done. I hope you guys have a happy, fabulous, wonderful, and amazing day, that you got something that you need out of this, and I will see you later, my love. Bye.